cannot get an entire team to deliver, then you are not a program manager just yet. Two, you need to understand what the entire puzzle is. What does your team do? How does it add value to the organization? What does the organization want in terms of direction? And how is my contribution in alignment with the management's direction? That will make you a manager, and not just coming to office and doing your bit and doing it well, though that is still a technology expertise. Third, at the end of the day, every day, you are delivering on one piece of work. You don't take other pieces of work. You don't try to help them. You don't let the whole car move. You're only worried about you and your engine being at Ferrari and wondering what you're doing in a Maruti car. And you're consistently looking out for another organization, which is a Ferrari, which will appreciate you for your engine. But the truth of the matter is, even if you get into a Ferrari engine, there will always be other aspects to it which need to work in tandem with you. And that implies that at the end of the day, you are a driver whose skill set is that he can fix an engine, but he can also do everything else in order to get the Ferrari revved up and up to speed. Now, in order to keep this conversation simpler, I wanted to take a simple example that will be fixated in your mind next time you want to progress and you want to understand what's wrong. I've been in positions like yours before multiple times. And I felt that having somebody guide me or consistently re-emphasize what is it that I need to do to get there is an important element of how I get there. The one skill that I might have had over and above everything else was the skill to be open and absorb, listen, take feedback, criticism, and use all of that to move forward. And today, I want to be able to give that back to you. So the first way to think about yourself is to think of yourself and your organization as a tree. Why? Because it makes it very, very simple for you to remember. I can do complicated versions of it, but it won't help you. Now, what about the tree? You, as a technology expert, are the tree trunk. So you're very, very important to the tree. There's no doubt about that. And I understand organizations sometimes appreciate, sometimes don't appreciate you. But the truth of the matter is, if you're in an organization and they pay you for it, trust me, they appreciate you, whether or not they know how to express it. So first and most important thing is understand that you're an important element of an organization, whether this one or any other organization that you go to. At the same time, you have to be practical with yourself. Is how great are you at what you are doing as a technology person? Why is that important? It's important because if everything that you do in those 12 hours is not making you great at it, there is no point you being a manager tomorrow. If you're only just doing things to get them done, you're going to do that as a manager. Now, many of you feel, once I become a manager, I will be a great manager because I have these amazing team skills nobody has ever heard of. Right? I get people done. Like, people don't want to talk to me. They disclose their things to me. So I deserve to be a manager. But the truth is, the person who's speaking from the top, looking from the top, has a different view of you. And in that view, if you've been given 10 to 12 or 8 hours to do a job and you're not good at it, there's no reason why you will be good at any other job. So first, make sure you're very, very good at what you are already putting your time and attention in. Doesn't matter whether you love it or not. Because as a manager, trust me, there are so many things that you will not love. So number one, are you worth your time right now? How great are you at what you're doing? That's an important question. And if you have a paper and pen and you want this to really work for you, please rate yourself on how great you are at technology or your technical expertise or your expertise right now. Second, how relevant and connected to the industry are you? So if you're an HR expert in a real estate organization, waste of time. You need to be, if you're very, very good at HR, you need to be in an HR consulting firm because there you are the most important element in there. In a real estate, the most important person is the estate. Anybody who brings more estate is more important than anybody who makes people happy. So look for whether you're relevant in the industry or not. You might be a great AI or artificial intelligence expert, but you are possibly, say, in a manufacturing till use it, say, an electrical company. Doesn't make any sense, right? So are you relevant to that industry? Third, where is that industry going and are you along with it? You might be an Oracle expert, but if everybody is moving to the cloud and it's not as relevant as it was earlier, your expertise is useless, and therefore as a manager you won't be able to get anybody else to follow you because they'll say you're not good at anything, you're obsolete. So first importantly, figure out where you are as a trunk. Are you solid trunk or are you a hollow trunk? And that's an important element. Number two, what are your branches? Right? Now, as a tech lead or an expert, you're supposed to be 80% good at technology, 10% at people. You should be able to work in the team and get things done. 5% in documentation, 5% in everything else. Right? Going out smoking with your client, socializing, all that. It's still 5%. Now, because you're still in this bubble, you think that you're not getting promoted because you're not, socializing enough, because, you are the people that you work with are not good enough. There's so much politics, but you're really good at the job. But the truth is, in this organization or any other organization, the still things will stay the same. At the same time, the skills that are needed for a program manager are way, way, way different from a technical expert. Number one, you're not expected to be 80% technology. You're only expected to be 20% technology, just 1/5 of your job. Two, people management increases from 10% of just being hello, hi, and people want to work with you and say nice things about you, to actually being able to motivate and inspire people to get something done. Sometimes being gentle, sometimes being firm, sometimes being inspirational, sometimes being executional. Third, you need to start playing a role in getting the organization some money. You're at this point, you're only using their money to deliver a job. You are like any other plumber, electrician, etc. You're not really adding value to the organization. So start understanding, how does this organization, how does this unit make money, and how can I add more money into this department. Fourth, resource management. It's not just people, but the infrastructure that goes into it, and the documentation that goes into it, the best practices that you will start writing for others. How can you make this department something better because you are in it? Fifth, strategic thinking. As a technology expert, you're not expected to think about strategic offerings, and off and on you engage and the manager says good things about you and you think, okay, now is the time to displace this manager. But not true, because the manager has to do that a lot more times, and probably without any appreciation or recognition, till it actually works and brings in some new direction, brings in new offerings, new customers, more white papers, more proposals, more thinking around what is the next level this department can take itself. How can I improve the process? How can I improve the people in it? How can I get them to talk better? How can I get them to look back at what they have done and take feedback from it, right? And the last and the most important bit is 25% is self-management. You might be a great technology expert and inspire people to use your technology or your product, but you're self-oriented. When you become a manager, you not only have to grow yourself, you have to grow other people around you. You not only have to make yourself feel good about the day, you have to make other 20 people feel good about their day. That implies you have a control on your emotions, whether those are insecurities, jealousy, um, visibilities, invisibility, politics, etc. Enough to make. What is the difference between being a manager and an indispensable manager? A manager is what I told you, right? 20% technology, 20% people, financials, etc. But an indispensable manager is one that brings value. There's no point having a dead tree with great trunk and all these branches, but no leaves, no fruits, no nothing. If you are not creating any value or outcome to the organization, you are basically useless. No matter you have a great position, but you are useless to the organization today, and at some point they will let go of you. So how do you make sure that you are not just a great manager tomorrow, but an indispensable one, and you start working on it today? First, and the most important thing you will hear from someone, and I hope somebody has told you this before, because if they have not, this is the most life-changing thing you will ever hear. Number one, you have a cost to the company. You have a hardware cost to the company, which means what? They pay you a salary. Just for your physical body to be present in the organization, they pay you a salary. So supposing your salary is, say, 6 lakhs a year, divided by 12 is about 30,000 a month. So the company is paying for your physical presence 30,000 in salary, 2,000 in electricity bills for that small desk that you occupy. 1 lakh is, if your manager's salary is 12 lakhs and you use 10% of the manager's time just to understand what job to do today, you're basically using 1 lakh of the manager's salary onto yourself, right? That divided by 12 is about 3K. You have a laptop bill of 1 lakh for a year, which is 8,000 per month. You have softwares on your laptop that need to be renewed every year, which is 50,000 a year, divided by 12 is 4K. You have a rental they have to pay for the building that you are in. Therefore, for the little chair and the little table that you own, there is a rental space, which divided by 12, divided by, say, X amount of people, will come to about 5 to 10K a month. If you did a housing tomorrow, a 1 BHK will be 10 to 15,000. Let's assume it's 5 to 8K for a commercial building. They have to spend on your health and safety, ergonomics, AC, blah, blah. That is about 5K a month. Free coffee, food, canteen stuff, etc. is at least 1 to 2K a month. So in overall, just to get your physical body to be made available to them, right now you've done nothing, right? If you do nothing also, you are at least at a cost of 80,000 to 1 lakh as a fresher, or early ahead at 6 lakhs a year salary, 0 to 5 years experience, let's say. You're at 80,000 to 1 lakh cost to the company already, right? Then what is your software? Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption again. Your slides are not moving. Are you changing the slides? It's still on the slide number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is moving. Yeah. Did you change, or it was not changed? I just wanted to know that. I think I lost you.
I changed that. I was on slide 8.
No, ma'am. We lost your presentation. Please share again. Now.
Is it sharing now?
Yes, you're back. Now you can change the slides. The slide
I changed it.
On slide 10. Yeah.
5. It's slide 6. Can you see that?
Now it is on 6.
Tech house. Is it on 6?
Yes, it is on 6 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this on 6 now?
It is still on 6 now.
So in 6 I shared, if you're a tech person, you are the tree trunk of the organization. You need to understand whether you are a hollow tree trunk or a solid one. And for that, you need to know these 3 things. Right? How great, how relevant to that industry, and where are you going? Are you aligned with where everybody is? The next slide. Rakesh, has that changed to the next slide?
Not yet, ma'am. It's still in 6.
Something wrong with this sharing.
Yeah, now it went to 7, yeah.
Let me try this.
The sharing is stopped. Now you're back. Yeah, now you're back.
Can you see this? Okay.
Yes.
So in this,
or export 80%.
as I shared, okay, right? So in this, like I shared, if you're moving from tree trunk into branches, you need to be moving from just being a tech expert to being a programmer expert. And as I shared earlier, before you might have been great at technology and people management. Now you're only 20% technology, 20% people, financials. You have to have a broader understanding of things. The next slide, I shared what's the difference between an indispensable manager and a manager. You might be great now at being a manager, but the most important thing is to be indispensable, and that means adding value. What is value? Is your hardware cost to the company and your software cost to the company. Hardware cost, just like I explained about 10 minutes back, is what is the cost of just having your physical body at the office, right? In which I said your salary divided by 12, if you can compute, add the electricity cost, add the time that you take of your manager and divide that by his salary, add the laptop cost, add the software on the laptop, divide by 12, add the rental of the space they might be paying, the health and safety hazard they have to pay, the various taxes, the CSR, then the free coffee and the canteen aspect that you get and consume in a day, the transport, if at all you get paid for X, Y, Z, right? Add that, that is the physical cost the company has to pay for you. The software costs of them are actually much more bigger. Say you produce poor quality work as a manager, right? What does that mean? It means you lose customers, which means you lose any incoming business. Now, because the business hasn't come, you don't realize that you actually lost it by poor performance. You know what has come, but you don't know what could have come that didn't come because of you. So assume that you're doing not so good work and the customer doesn't come back again to the company. Per month, if the customer was a 12 lakh customer, per month you're losing 1 lakh to the company. Secondly, you might be influencing other people negatively by consistently cribbing, etc. So not only are you not doing your own work, you're actually taking away work from other people, consciously or unconsciously. Right? That is about, if they earn the same as you, that is about 20 to 30,000 per month of low performance from them, right? And the customers they will end up losing. Third, if you're getting other people to have to review your work, you're taking their time of your peers as well. That's another cost to the company. Fourth, if you're not letting Rakesh, can the others go on mute? All right. Fourth is if you're not letting other people do their work, that's extra cost to the company. So if you're physically present but not doing anything, your physical presence itself is about 1 lakh to the company. And if you're demotivated, negatively influencing people unconsciously, you're costing another 1 to 2 lakhs to the company minimum. So in a month, at least minimum, if there's no ripple effect, 3 lakhs to the company is the value you are taking from the company every month. So how do you produce value, right? If you're a technology manager, you should be able to produce at least 1x to 3x times the value that you produce or you take in. So if they give you a salary of X plus the other costs plus the software costs, minimum 1 to 3 times you should be producing back. Second, if you want to be a manager, you should be producing at least 3 to 5 times that cost. If you are a indispensable manager, somebody who is meant for the fast road, at whatever position you are in, you should be putting at least 5 to 10 times the cost the company is putting into you. Because at the end of the day, the balance sheet that the CEO looks at has a lot more financials in it as well. It's great. I'd love to be able to. By default, I'm a people person. I'd love to keep people whether or not they're performing. However, people is one aspect of my balance card, right? Financials is another. And every month on month, if I see that I'm spending 2 lakhs on the person and all I'm getting in return are maintenance issues and not a lot of value from that car, I might love the car, but will I keep it? Will you keep it? So getting started. Where would you start? Now, let's say if we want to build you up really quickly, and I do want to, because for the simple reason that you are there on this webinar means you deserve for somebody to mentor or guide you, because you're willing to put the time and the effort into wanting to grow. So as much as you want it, I want it for you as well. So how do I help you grow? First part was taking the myths away from the conversation. First part was being tough love. Telling you factually, which nobody else will, where you could possibly be going wrong. And what are the various elements that people are looking at you from that you don't even know. Now is building you up. Love is motherly love, right? So how do we do that? Number one, As a trunk, you need to be good at what you do. So you have the trunk, you have the branches, you have the leaves and the fruits. Where do we get started? Amazing thing is, neither of those. You get started first with the roots. When you have to move a trunk, now say you want to move companies, do you really think that your expertise that you've built here is going to be useful there? Only 20 to 30%, not more. You think you're this great expert, will go there and just get raving and go. As a manager, no. Maybe as a technology expert, possibly. But as a manager, when you move, the only thing movable in a tree is the roots. Nothing else. Nothing else is able to produce a tree as fast as roots do. So the roots part that you need to be working on really right away is yourself. Managing yourself and managing others are the most important things of a manager. So when I moved from a technology role to a program manager to an account manager to a group lead to a business guy, business person to head of Asia sales, from head of Asia sales to head of growth and innovation for large deals, from that to a CCO, Chief Culture Officer to the CEO of for pretty much in TCS. And then now to my own organization, the one thing that I feel has stayed over and above every other thing, because technology became less and less important. Every 5 years it changes. The equity that I built with people, it became less important because they left the organization and went to other places. And I moved groups so often to grow. So how did I grow maximum is using these two skills. You put me anywhere in any position, any client, any competence, I will find a way to excel in it because I know how to manage myself and I know how to manage the others. I know how to be the person that they can trust, be the person who inspires them, be the person who sets the clear right agenda for the team. And I know how to manage others in terms of picking the right people, motivating them, encouraging them, learning from them even if I didn't know how to, and getting them oriented towards a direction and delivering outcomes. And that is a stable route to have. And that I can dislodge in any part of the world and start again. I won't have a problem. So self-management and managing others is two critical skills you need to understand. We're short of time, and this is a big one, a big topic for some other day. But for now, if you can just park this in your diaries and start working on these, that would be a great start. 2, we've covered the roots. Like, what kind of person are you? Are you the right person for the manager? Do you even have a personality of a manager? Are you collaborative? Can you co-create? Can you get the team to work for you? Are you insecure and just wanting other people around, or can you make them feel good even if you don't? Right? That's the root. The trunk part of it is, are you good at one thing? Can you do one thing well? Are you great at it or are you good at it? Get great at it. Secondly, known organization saw you, even if your team saw you and they said, who is this guy or girl? What is he or she good at? Can that one thing pop up in everybody's mind? If you're not known for it, that's a problem. Thirdly, do you do it for no reason? It's not like you come into your work and go out. Do you help others? Even if they're not going to help you, but you unconditionally offer your expertise to others, it helps you grow because your expertise is now tested against different problems for free. And lastly, how relevant are you in what you are doing? If you are great at, say, mainframe coding, that was like 10 years back, 15. Can you become relevant? How to grow your branches? If you haven't, please get started on these expertise or these skills before you ask your organization or any other organization to start looking at you as a manager. One is program management. How do you manage program? How do you plan it? What are the critical sessions in there that need to happen? If a program is falling out of line, how do you bring it back on board? Second is resource management. You will always have less of time as a resource, less of people, the right skills and of the people, you always feel like you never have the best manager, the best customer, the best deadlines, the best documentation requirement, all that. But can you still get deliver a good outcome? So resource management. Third, financials management. Anybody can do something if you're given $1 million to do it. Can you do it in 10 years? In the amount of financials, that can you use that voice? In the amount of money that you do have in your department or unit, instead of giving there is a budget. Rakesh, it's echoing.
I have muted everybody else other than you, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the budget in your organization, thanks Rakesh. If you don't have the budget in your organization to do some of the things you want to, can you do it in shorter budget? You will be most innovations have come from departments that had less or no money. And under pressure they performed much better than they did if they had everything else available to them. Fourth, managing your managers, managing your peers. Are you the kind of person who does an excellent job at everything? That includes not just managing your team, but also your brand reputation with your peers. And how do you manage what goes up? Do you need to socialize? Do you need to better network? Do you need to understand where they are coming from? Do you even know the way in which they measure you? And finding that out. They may not be the best manager in the world. They're also following a checklist. You need to better understand the checklist, and if it is against your values, don't do it. But if it is part of your values, then learn how to be on that checklist. Fifth, do you know how to set direction, how to create strategy? So if you're an operational manager, you're no use beyond a point. Sixth, managing yourself and others. Can you teach that to others and can you make that more visible to the people around you? Nobody wants a technical expert who's not a team player, who thinks he's amazing, Ferrari car, but cannot work in collaboration, always wants to be reaching there first at the cost of his colleagues. And the top as manager is all about somebody who makes the team look good. And finally, do you produce fruits at tree or are you a dead tree? If you're producing fruits, are they getting returns of investment from you? As I shared earlier, they're spending at least 3 times on you other than your salary, right? So are you giving them returns for that? And are you worth their investment, any further investment? Because you want to become a manager, like I shared, for a lot different reasons than why they want you to become a manager. And if that conversation is aligned in your mind, there are high chances then that you will achieve it. I think with that, thank you, all the best. Like I shared, the fact that you're here and wanting to grow is 80% of actually getting there. Now 20% is actioning on some of the things we said, and I hope you do that. Rakesh, I'm open to questions now, and I'll stop sharing.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, ma'am. It was indeed an eye-opening for many of us. We got to know many facts and figures today. How are we working? What do we work? It was a kind of self-realization for all of the participants today, I feel. Yeah, having said that, participants, the chat window is open for you to ask the queries. If you have any queries, please use chat with all option and post your query there. Nidhi ma'am can read it out there, or I'll read it out aloud and she can answer. If you have any queries, please start posting it in chat window. We have next 5 to 10 minutes, and by the time you start putting your questions, we have our TEMS India chairman, Mr. Dr. Sudhindra Kaushik, rather. He is going to speak few words about TEMS. Sudhindra sir, the mic is all yours.
Thanks, Rakesh. Thank you so much. My dear good friend Nidhi, it was fantastic to hear you. And believe it or not, I have an A4 of notes that I've made for myself. Though I have been in the industry for long, I couldn't miss a word. So I was very agitated whenever there was a a partial mute on the line, but that's technology for you. And you started off rightly by saying while there is technology all around us, we need technology management to be successful. I love the analogies that you gave, right from the tree to the fruit bearing tree and Ferrari and the cog in the wheel. I mean, it's amazing. It helps people of all experience level to understand very quickly. So to me, technology and technology management are practically inseparable if you want to make impact. And you put it very beautifully, Nidhi, how and what to consider. And I think in the given the short time, it was a highly impactful way of putting across what we should be looking at rather than what I should be expecting. I think your emphasis on action is key because we can keep dreaming about buying a Ferrari, but if we don't put a plan in place and act upon it, it will remain a dream, and that's easy to do. Nothing, it doesn't cost you anything today. So many things I noted. Maybe I'll just put in a short note on my LinkedIn or so that it can help others who didn't join today. But I think the key points were also about one or two I want to highlight is whether we are good in something and how many people know about whether what we are good in. Sorry, I pressed the mute button. So I think that is very key. While we expect a lot of good things to come to us, I think we forget what we are offering. What are we here for? What do we make ourselves to be unique and well known for? So I think it's a fantastic viewpoint to take. What can I do rather than what can others do for me? And making others grow is, I think, is truly important in today's culture, because when we see a lot of companies, which Nidhi has seen a lot in her career as well, managers are not the same as leaders. They have different perspectives and horizons. So again, thanks so much, Nidhi, for your wonderful presentation. Of course, a lot of wisdom in your words. I can see that, and I'm sure we will work together. And for the rest of the folks, why we will work together is this is organized under the aegis of Technology and Engineering Management Society, TEMS TEMS chapter of India. So it's under IEEE, a very well-known and old society. It is important for you guys to start being a part of this society very early. So we encourage you to take membership into this society and start your student chapters if you're in college, or be part of your local chapters wherever you're in India. This is the way you will get to meet people like Nidhi who can be a gold mine for you, because you will need to spend the 20-25 years she has spent to get this wisdom. And when there are people who are selflessly willing to offer that guidance, I think it's up to us to lose it if you don't take it. So I encourage you to look up IEEE TEMS website. Rakesh, me, anybody of us can help you do that, and be part of TEMS so that you can meet more such wonderful talks and insights. Thanks, Nidhi, and I'll hand over to you for your Q&A.
Thank you, Sudhindra. I think it's really lovely being there for you. You're a lovely person, and anything I can do to help your agenda. And I must say, you have a lovely team. They've been following up for so long for these children, and I was sharing as much as I can. I'd love to grow the active users for you, because it's an important aspect, an important topic, and you have the right people to do it. So kudos to you and more power. I'll take in a few questions, Rakesh, if that's okay, or should I?
You can please, ma'am. You want me to read it, or should I go ahead and read it?
I can see that. I'm just going to browse through them. Before I do that, I think to Sudhindra's point, folks, one thing, like I said earlier, is that you need to be known for what many children, especially in universities, schools, and companies, they don't have a LinkedIn profile. And something I insist that a lot of my folks have it. If you're not visible, if you don't have an equity, if you're not out there learning and putting yourselves out there, it's not going to be much help to you later. And especially when programs like these happen, LinkedIn is a great way for you to let other people also know that they should come and attend these programs. And build that active set of people who are consistently learning with you, because today you are interested, tomorrow you may not be, and you would need somebody's nudge. And that somebody could be somebody that you help get there. So quickly taking a few questions. Making sure I don't miss anyone. 1 minute. As a manager, Jaya says, as a manager, sorry, so since questions are coming, I can't hear it. as a manager, utilization of resources is the most important criteria, but you said only 20% is needed in that. You're right, Jill. For different managers, different things might be a consideration, but as a general person who's expected to work across organizations, resource management is an operational issue. You're expected to spend a significant amount of time doing strategy, not only the direction for your unit, direction for your people. So, which is why I've given some amount of percentage to people, strategic thinking, and financials, because resource management is only as good as it is creating value and money to the organization. Thank you for the question, Jaya. Thank you for the guidance and motivation, Pranav, Pidru. Thank you very much for being there. Tripura, I was enlightened with your lecture. How sweet of you, Tripura. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Hello, Nidhi. Hello, Nidhi. Hello, this is Shoaib here from the Calcutta.
Hello.
Hi. Just now you mentioned, your colleague mentioned somewhere about the membership. Is it paid membership?
Rakesh?
Yes, it is. You can write to me or Rakesh, Sudhindra Kaushik here. We will let you know. If you're already an IEEE member, depending on membership grade, there are different discounts applicable. You can write to me at sudhindra.kaushik@ieee.org. I will guide you further.
Okay, very nice. I'd like to invite Calcutta. We are from Department of Atomic Energy. So you can have interaction.
That's exactly our motive is. We want to have people like Nidhi and myself to meet people like you and your teams, so that we broad base what we have learned and you can have a faster learning curve. That's precisely what we would like to.
We are mostly involved in that, but it is good to have that interaction.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Raghvendra says it's generally asked in interviews what qualities of leaders and managers should possess, and if we add these, what is the best possible answer? Raghvendra, the best possible answer for what leadership skills you bring on board are the strengths that you bring on board. There's no general answer to it. At the same time, as a leader, the most important skill is being authentic. Number one. Number two is knowing what your strengths are and also knowing what your weaknesses are. If the others can put on mute, then I can actually answer those questions. Rakesh, can you put them on mute? All right. So, Raghvendra, to answer your question, you got to know yourself as a leadership skills. Those rata-rata in things on the internet won't be of much use. You have to figure out who you are, what your strengths are, also what your weaknesses are, and be able to authentically state both of them. I think what people don't understand is that weakness is also a strength, and don't shy away from sharing those. You really made me realize how you manage work and trust is important. That's true, Tripura. It is. Should we opt non-core companies or not for job? As an electrical engineering fresher, should we opt non-core companies? I think as an electrical engineering fresher, Pranav, the whole world is your landscape right now. You have learned one skill, and if you think you're great at it, continue using it. If not, continue upgrading yourself to whatever skills that you feel you eventually want. Your education is important, and it might have been done, but your knowledge assimilation is not done. Continue learning and opting for experiences, core or non-core, job or not job, that actually helps you grow. Please do not look after positions and fame and money right now. Now is the time to really experiment with what you have learned. And so take a risk now. You can. You have a good engineering background to enjoy some of the risk-taking privileges. Sola, interested in product-based companies. Sola, if you're interested in product-based companies, you need to do a little bit of research. But trust me, like I said, many of the organizations, when they recruit, are looking for the root skills. And by root skills, I mean if you're the right person, the right attitude, you want to grow, you're a go-getter, you get things done, and that is visible in the actions that you have taken to learn about that new product or learn about skills around that product, they will take you. And if they don't, continue having these forums like IEEE to enjoy. Some of the other things are the skills that you might need in order to pivot from a technical to a product-based role. I'm going to try and go faster on this. So useful for me, how I should be in the working environment. Please, as a working environment, be a professional. And by that I mean, just because you are an employee does not mean you're a professional. A professional is somebody who gets things done, who does them to the best of his ability, has less excuses and more work, and works as a team player. Is some of the things. If you feel that you are a person who fits well and gets things done, you might be moving from an employee to being a professional, and that's good enough in a workplace to start with. Shovik says, how long should I do the job to build a good experience? Shovik, don't worry about experience. A lot of the organizations are beginning to move away from the old culture of कितने साल तुमने उस company में बिताए, कितनी देर तक उस product को तुमने ताका. They're not interested in that anymore. So please work on building yourself, and if you think you're an expert and you're willing to grow either in that organization or somewhere else, feel free to move and grow yourself there. Don't be backed by how it looks on your resume. Resume is just a paper. End of the day, they will look at you and then hire you, not your paper. Just under transition. All right. Thank you, Praveen. Please write to me on my email ID mentioned. Oh, that's Rakesh. Thank you, Manju, Nath. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. There are no more questions. Thanks, Sudhir, for having me. Rakesh, thank you so much for all the, fire stopping last minute. I appreciate you getting that done. Thank you so much for all the people who are here. Like I said, showing up is 80% of the fact that you deserve to be a manager soon. Please continue on this journey and stay engaged.
Thank you, Nidhi, for sparing your time on Sunday.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
You're welcome. How can I contact you, Prateek? I'm on LinkedIn. You can message me there, and I'm generally happy to answer questions there because it's on my own time.
I will give you a challenge. Nidhi is as fast as you can be. So if you can beat her speed, you are already there.
Thanks, Nidhi.
That is so good.
All right, folks. Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot for your patience. I kept on calling you untimely. Thanks for talking to me at every time. Thanks a lot.
And I like somebody who is driven, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye. Bye.
One small question. Somebody spoke from Kolkata. If I can get your email ID, sir, it would be easy for me to contact. Can you ping your email ID in the chat box?
வரேன்டா ஒரு நிமிஷம் இந்த செமினார் ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு எனக்கு ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ற ஆன்லைன்ல எஸ்டேட்ட போட்டு விட்டுட்டு வரேன்
You can end the meeting now. You can leave the meeting. I'm looking for the person who spoke from Kolkata. Can I get his email ID? I did not get your name, sir. If you are still online, can you ping me? I have mentioned my email ID there.
யாரோட வீடு?